Thanks for your patience. Corny Trich, welcome, and you have 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and the committee. I am here to lend my support for sexual orientation and gender identity being protected classes under state law. I think we really need your bold leadership now to send a clear message to potential Indiana residents, current Indiana residents, and the same with businesses, to show that we fully support the LGBT community and that that statement is not just rhetoric and full of loopholes. I want you to know that I moved back to Indiana 8 years ago from Chicago. I graduated Phi Beta Kappa from Indiana University, and I hold my marketing strategy certificate from Cornell. And I have spent the last 8 years trying to make Northeast Indiana the best possible place to live and work. I am putting to use more than a decade of experience in marketing and economic and community development work here in the state of Indiana. And I also want to tell you that last year, when we passed RFRA, I started looking for jobs in other states. A state that does not support my LGBT friends as equal under the law is not a place I am proud to call home. And sadly, the perception of Indiana not being inclusive goes well beyond RFRA. In Northeast Indiana, we did a market research study over a year ago where we talked to almost 900 people in 10 counties, and all of that feedback, one of the top takeaways of that report is that societal change needs to happen in regard to our stance on inclusivity. As you know, the state's Regional Cities Initiative, the main premise of that was that population stagnation threatens Indiana's growth. If we know that the biggest economic development issue facing our state today is talent attraction and retention, why would we tell the country and the world that we do not support whole demographics of people as being equal under state law? Right now, Northeast Indiana is working hard to attract talent, raise educational attainment, and raise per capita income. And you know what the U.S. Census Bureau says? It says that same-sex households have considerably higher household income, educational attainment, and a higher participation rate in the workforce. In other words, this is a demographic Northeast Indiana and Indiana cannot afford to alienate. Without a doubt, there is a business case to be made for equality. But there is also a personal case. I am embarrassed and saddened when my LGBT friends don't feel welcome here in Indiana, and my gay and straight friends from around the country and the world would never consider living in Indiana because of what is going on right now. What you may not realize is that there is more at stake than the LGBT community. A lack of protections for the LGBT community will have a ripple effect on your talent pool. You risk losing people like myself who care about equality and opportunity and diversity and creativity. You risk losing the very vibrant, talented workforce that Indiana so desperately needs. Because we will not sit back and watch if our LGBT friends are treated as anything less than the equally vibrant, talented workforce that they are. As I mentioned, I'm here to support sexual orientation and gender identity as protections under state law. I do, however, want to note that gender identity must be included in this. We cannot show that we are only inclusive of part of the LGBT community. That is not the message we want to send. And secondly, religious exemptions put forth should not be any broader than they are for race or other classifications. Without those caveats, this bill will not be inclusive, nor will it be perceived nationally as inclusive. Thank you.
Thank you, Courtney. Appreciate your testimony. The next person to speak in opposition is Ken Wright.